Welcome to the channel and community. Here's a sensual and tastefully detailed story exploring a couple's first experience at a swingers club. I hope you like it. Actually, I know you are going to love it. Is it a true story? Maybe it is. Grab a glass of wine and enjoy. Please don't forget to subscribe and like. The invitation. Susanna and Jake had been together for nearly a decade, their love deep and unwavering. But lately, they'd found themselves craving something more. A spark, an adventure. Something to shatter the comfortable routine they'd fallen into. One evening, over a glass of wine, Susanna brought up an idea she'd been toying with for weeks. "What if we tried something new?" she asked, biting her lip. Jake raised an eyebrow. "Like what?" She hesitated, then met his gaze. "A swingers club." He exhaled, surprised but intrigued. "You mean, with other people?" Susanna nodded, her cheeks warming. "We don't have to do anything we're not comfortable with, but I like the idea of watching, maybe flirting, just seeing where it goes." Jake swirled his drink, considering. The idea sent a rush of excitement through him. He loved Susanna more than anything, and if this could reignite their passion, why not? Let's do it. The club. That Saturday night, Susanna wore a long coat covering up probably the most revealing dress she ever wore, but following the club's guidelines. Jake dressed to impress. They looked into each other's eyes for the longest minute. They saw all the emotions of nervousness and excitement while making a pack. Nothing happens unless they both agree and feel comfortable. Later that night, they arrived at a high-end swingers lounge hidden behind an unmarked door in the city. The moment they stepped inside, they were enveloped in an atmosphere of deep red lighting, soft jazz, and murmured conversation. Couples and singles mingled in elegant attire. Women in slinky dresses, men in tailored suits. The air buzzed with anticipation, curiosity, and something deeper. An unspoken promise of pleasure. Susanna clutched Jake's hand, her pulse racing. "Wow," she breathed. A hostess greeted them, handing them glasses of champagne. "First time?" she asked with a knowing smile. Susanna nodded. "Yes." "Take your time," the hostess said. "There's no pressure here, just enjoy." They wandered through the lounge, past plush velvet booths where couples whispered intimately, past a dance floor where bodies swayed in slow, teasing movements. A glass wall separated the main lounge from a dimly lit back room, where things were far more uninhibited. Jake slid an arm around Susanna's waist. "See anything you like?" She shivered at his touch. "Maybe." The encounter. Then they saw them. A couple near the bar, confident, magnetic. The woman, tall and elegant, wore a sleek black dress that hugged her curves. The man, strong-jawed with a smoldering gaze, was sipping whiskey, watching Susanna with open admiration. They introduced themselves, Scarlett and Andrew, experienced but never pushy. The chemistry was instant, effortless. Conversation flowed, punctuated by teasing touches and lingering eye contact. "Would you like to join us in one of the private lounges?" Scarlett finally asked, her voice sultry. Susanna and Jake exchanged a glance. Excitement, nervousness, desire. "Yes," Susanna said. The first time. Inside the lounge, the tension crackled. Soft lighting bathed the room in gold as they settled onto the oversized bed, the air thick with anticipation. Scarlett leaned in first, brushing Susanna's lips with hers. Soft, testing. Susanna gasped at the unfamiliar yet thrilling sensation. Meanwhile, Andrew and Jake locked eyes, an unspoken agreement passing between them. At this time, Andrew extended his hand to Susanna while looking at Jake for his approval. Susanna also looked at Jake for approval. Jake slowly nodded his head up and down, acknowledging he was okay with what was about to happen. Scarlett slowly walked to Jake, sensually kissed him in the lips, and then slowly licked him in his left ear. Grabbed his hands and gently positioned them in a place where he had secretly been admiring all night. The rest unfolded in a slow, tantalizing blur. Fingers tracing new skin, lips exploring uncharted territory, breath hitching as boundaries blurred between pleasure and discovery. There was no rush, only sensation. Only the thrill of surrendering to something new, together. While in the same room, they constantly looked at each other's eyes and facial expressions that only seemed to heat things up more. Jake and Susanna heard moans from each other that they never heard before. It was obvious Scarlett and Andrew were experienced in this situation and definitely gave Susanna and Jake the night of their lives. Andrew recommended, since this was Susanna and Jake's first time, that they switch back and finish with their partners. Jake agreed. This is when Jake took Susanna and felt her in a way he never felt her before. It was a sensation in which he could describe as pure ecstasy. Jake and Susanna moved in sync. With every slow movement, they surpassed their pleasure limit. They finally finished together at the same time, like a perfectly timed musical. And in the end, as they lay tangled in each other's arms, Susanna and Jake knew this was only the beginning. If you like this story, subscribe and like so we can continue to exchange secret stories that make our toes curl. Feel free to leave your first-time stories in the comments.